As a courtesy, we please ask that media members and those that are here joining us for the press conference, please silence your cell phones. Also, in regards to questions, please provide your name and media affiliation each time you ask a question. And then if you're joining us via Zoom, we ask that you please use the hand function, and we'll get to you. We are recording the press conference, and we ask that you please do not use cell phones or cameras. Cell phones or cameras prohibited. The final score, what a game, 75-71. As a historic moment for Texas A&M Corpus Christi as the Islanders win their first ever tournament game in March Madness, the NCAA tournament. A really exciting moment for the program, and we are thrilled to have up here on the stage Jalen Jackson, who finishes with 22 points and 6 rebounds, was 14 of 18 from the foul line. Ross Williams off the bench, 13 points this evening, and their head coach, Steve Lutz. Coach, we'll start with your thoughts on the contest and your team's victory here tonight.
I thought it was a great opening game for the NCAA tournament. I mean, you had a lot of energy, a lot of effort. You had, two teams that played extremely, extremely hard and gave it everything they had. At the end of the day, we made a few more free throws. We got a couple more rebounds, and obviously we were able to come out, on the victorious side. So I couldn't be more excited for these guys, and I couldn't be more excited for our basketball program. But Brad Korn is a great person. He's a really good basketball coach, and man, I would have to think that the people of Cape Girardeau have to be extremely happy with him and what he's done with his team this year. So hats off to those guys.
At this time, we'll open up the floor for questions, and we will start with our student athletes. So questions for Jalen or Ross. In the middle on the aisle.
Quentin Martinez, Corpus Christi Caller-Times. Jalen, you guys were in a situation where in the second half you guys led by as much as 10 points. They caught you guys. What was the biggest key down the stretch for you guys to be able to find a way to pull it out tonight?
Just staying together. Basketball is a game of runs, so we knew at some point they were going to make a run. We just had to stay together. We rebounded. We made free throws, and, yeah, we stuck together to finish the game out.
Third row.
Adam Rittenberg with ESPN.com. For both guys, what does it mean to be a part of the first team to win an NCAA tournament game?
It means everything. This being my last year coming here, just talking to Coach Lutz during the recruiting process, he said if you come here, you're going to get a chance to win. And being able to do this with my brothers, it means the world. And unfortunately we lost Terrion, but being able to use that as a motivational factor and to turn that around and to be able to do this for him and for him to be here with us, it means the world.
Jalen, your thoughts?
It's a surreal moment. We were in this position last year, but we were on the other side. So we had a great group of guys come back. We lost three players last year, but we had a good group of guys come back, and we all set out to make history. First by winning conference, then win the conference tournament, and winning some games in the March Madness tournament. So to be in this moment right now, it's amazing.
Other questions? Second row.
Quentin Martinez, Corpus Christi Caller-Times. Ross, in the first half, you provided a little bit of a lift offensively. They were doing everything they could to shut down Trey Tennyson, it seemed like. Can you talk about just hitting that first shot and what it did for your confidence?
Yeah. We got a lot of talented guys on this team, and one of the things that, Coach preaches all the time is that we're all equal in value, and, everybody has to step up. So, when they're trying to lock down on one guy, I know that it's my job to come in there and just give us an energy spark, and I was able to do that tonight.
And Jalen, you were able to get to the line quite a bit tonight. You know, you were driving. You know, was a big part of it. When you guys were able to kind of get them in foul trouble early in the first half, did you think you guys were going to be able to get to the line? You know, that's something you guys have been successful at this year.
We were in the double bonus early in the first half, but we stopped applying pressure. So during our halftime talk, coach was just like, keep putting pressure on them, get to the rim, and make the refs call a foul or finish. So that's what the second half plan was. So that's what we came out and did and executed.
Third row.
Adam Rittenberg with ESPN again. Ross, you touched on it, but what did it mean to win this, like you said, for Terrion, and did you have a chance to visit with him after the game?
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, it means everything. Being able to come here, you know, like Jalen touched on earlier, this is a team that returned a lot of guys, a lot of talent. So it's you know, a blessing to be able to come in and join a great group of guys, a great coaching staff, and then you know, Terrion, it's my roommate. I'm with him all the time, you know. So it's like when he goes down, it's super emotional. But once we got our bearings back, you know, it was a consistent theme. Like, let's do this for T. T is an unselfish person. He'd give you the shirt off his back. So, you know, when you lose a guy like that, it brings the group closer together. And we know that, you know, we're not done yet. This is March.
A question via Zoom. John, go ahead. A question for our student athletes.
John Titel from Hoops HD. For Jalen, you were 14 of 18 from the line. SEMO as a team was 9 of 20. My questions, have you ever taken that many free throw attempts in your life? And have you ever made more free throws than an entire team in your life?
That's probably a first. I can't think of any high school or middle school game where I've done that. So, yeah, that's a first. And I'm glad I was able to do it because it helped us get the win.
Other questions for Jalen or Ross? Gentlemen, thank you so much. Congratulations on history tonight. Best of luck looking ahead towards Thursday in Alabama.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, now we'll open up the floor. You guys are free to go. Yeah. Have fun in Birmingham. And now questions for the head coach of Texas A&M Corpus Christi, Steve Lutz.
Yeah, Steve, Adam Rittenberg with ESPN. Just wondering, how were you curious at all how your team would kind of respond without Terrion, or did you have a sense of how they would bounce back from that unfortunate situation?
Well, you know, Terrion blew his knee within 3 minutes of the championship game, so we had to play 37 minutes without him. So they responded well. I knew that we would have energy. I knew that we would have effort. I knew we would play well defensively. But Terrion is able to create easy baskets for us a lot of times. So I didn't know how we would score, to be very honest with you. We scored differently against Northwestern State than we did against SEMO here tonight. So when you lose a player of his magnitude, your offense is just going to continue to evolve. And a good thing for us is we do have other good players on the team, but you know, we're still finding ourselves a little bit offensively, and that's to be expected when you lose a guy like that.
Second row.
Quentin Martinez, Corpus Christi Caller-Times. You know, how do you feel about obviously teams have tried to take Trey Tennyson out of the game. He's a guy that averaged 18 points during conference play. Again, his shot wasn't falling tonight, and they did a good job trying to guard him. What's the biggest key to finding someone to pick up that scoring slack when someone's focused on a guy like that?
Yeah, we've got to do a better job of moving the basketball and getting other people involved in the offense. And when they key on Trey like that, obviously Trey's got to become a screener. And, you know, they're not going to help off of Trey. So if he sets a screen for his man's got to have a good chance to get open. So as I said, we're still kind of evolving. But, you know, the good thing about having a group of players that, you know, are all good players is that when they take Trey away, you know, that opens up the floor for Jalen Jackson to drive the ball to the basket, right? That opens up the floor for Jalen to drive and kick to Ross Williams. Or, again, if they're going to stay attached to Trey, you're just spreading the floor out and you're able to throw the ball inside. So you just have to, you know, you have to adjust to the game. And when people do that, you know, it's a good tactic, obviously, but, you know, you've got to then try to take advantage of it as well.
First row.
Mike Petralius, CLNS Media. Steve, last year, obviously, you were in the same position, but this year they tie the game at 64. Curious what's going through your mind at that point, and what is your message to the team?
Oh man, I'm sitting there saying to myself, man, you can't let this happen. You know, you've done a good job. You were up 10 points. You're winning at the half. You know, get your team back together and get them all on the same page and finish out the game. You know, that's what I'm thinking. You know, you're on the biggest stage of college basketball. You're the first game of the NCAA tournament, so you know a little bit. A little bit of it is you also want to make sure that your guys embrace the moment, but don't think the moment's too big. You know, it's still another basketball game, and we're playing a team that's a good team. So as long as we can get back on track, I felt like we would be fine. What was the second part of your question?
Your message to the team.
Yeah, my message to those guys is we don't need to hit home runs. Like, let's keep hitting singles and doubles. You know, obviously Owen Deese with however many seconds throws a behind the back pass. That's not in the game plan. But it worked out for us, and we got Isaac to the line and got some free throws. So my message was for Jalen Jackson and Ross Williams and Travion Tennyson and Simeon Fryer, take care of the basketball against the press. If they give us an opportunity to go score a quick basket in transition, go take your layup, go take your wide open three. Otherwise, run offense and take care of the ball and let them foul you.
Second row on the aisle.
Yeah, Jim Fox, Associated Press. Coach, your thoughts on looking forward to your next game, to facing a #1 seed?
Man, they're fantastic. And, you know, they're a #1 seed for a reason. You know, they've got really good players. They're well coached. They shoot the ball, they rebound the ball, and they are awfully fast. Like if we don't get back in transition, it could be a long night. So with that being said, you know, we played Arizona, we played Mississippi State at Mississippi State, and in both those games, you know, there were times during the game, especially in the first half, where we were leading the game. So our guys are battle tested. They're not scared of the moment. They're, you know, you've got to go play, and you know, you got to embrace it. But you know, history tells you that not many 1 seeds beat 16 seeds. So you know, that's why we have the NCAA tournament, to have situations like this where you get a chance to go shock the world. Nobody thought St. Peter's was going to get as far as they did last year either. So that's what makes this tournament special, guys.
Back row, far side.
Coach, Chris Thomason, KIII TV in Corpus. What do you think that atmosphere is going to be like in Birmingham on Thursday?
Oh, I'm sure we'll have a good crowd there, so we'll be okay. No, I mean, they're going to have a 95, 99% sellout for Alabama. I mean, it's going to be unbelievable. Obviously, it's going to be in their favor, so it is what it is. But those fans don't make threes or free throws or layups, right? So you still have to go into the game and you know, play the way you know how to play.
And just another one, if I can.
Yeah.
You know, earlier this season when you guys were struggling in the middle of Southland play, you know, they couldn't close out games. That was the big issue, giving up big leads. How proud of you were down the stretch that they were able to withstand that big run?
Yeah, well, you know, Chris, I disagree with you on struggling. We only lost 4 games in league play. But, I mean, we did have a bad week where we lost those 2. No, I'm extremely proud of them. I mean, if you look at the defensive numbers, though, in the second half, we weren't great defensively. I think we allowed them to shoot almost 60% from the floor. You know, so that's not great. We've got to be better against Alabama. But with that being said, to answer your question, to find a way to win, I couldn't be more excited and more proud for those guys, obviously for the city, for the university, and, you know, all of the Islander fans that are across the country watching this game. I mean, you know, they've got to be pretty excited tonight, I would think.
Let's go back online. John, via Zoom, your question to Coach.
John Titel from Hoops HD. Coach, you were hired in April of 2021. I know the goal is to build a winning, successful program, but did you think a night like tonight was possible in just year number 2?
Of course, yeah. No, I mean, when we got the job, I told the guys in the summer. So in Division I basketball, you get to bring them in June. And, you know, we had a few practices, and I've been around enough programs and been around enough winning to know what winning looks like. I told those guys from probably June all the way through, that we have enough in this room to be successful. We have enough in this room to win the league, to win the tournament, and go to the NCAA tournament and win games. So, yeah, to be honest with you, I did think that. I would hope you don't take that as arrogance by any means. That just means we did a good job, our staff and I did a good job in recruiting, coming out of COVID, and that I felt like we had good enough players to be, relevant within our league, and then obviously once we got to the NCAA tournament.
Coach, we really appreciate your time. Congratulations on the win. Best of luck on Thursday against Alabama.
No problem. Thank you.
All right, the thoughts of the head coach of Texas A&M Corpus Christi, Steve Lutz, as the Islanders will play at 2:45 on Thursday. Winners here tonight, 75-71. Congrats, Coach. Good luck. Safe travels. A reminder, Hammond Community